Welcome back, everybody, to the Young Project YouTube channel. This is Pastor Peter, and this is part 2 of our sin series. So what does the Bible have to say about sin? Interestingly enough, there are 3 major words that the Bible uses to describe sin. So the first one is transgression, 2, we have iniquity, and 3rd, the word sin. But these words obviously didn't come from the same language that we speak today. They came from Hebrew and Greek. And the word we're going to tackle today is sin itself. So in Hebrew that's chata, and in Greek that's hamartia. The Hebrew meaning is really interesting to me because it's not just the word sin like you would think the definition would be, like to do bad things, right? In Hebrew, the word chata means literally to miss the mark. So if you are an archer in a field and you are shooting arrows at a target, if you miss the mark, that was a chata. And the Greek word hamartia basically means the same thing with the other added definition of to err. But to fail and miss the mark of what? Today we have laws, right? Laws that are built there to keep us from doing certain things that may destroy society, right? And back in the time of ancient Israelites, they had 10 commandments or 10 laws that were structured for them to be successful in life. And the interesting thing about these 10 commandments is that the first 3 are about honoring God and the last 7 are about honoring people. You can see that there's a great focus even in the commandments that God made for people on people themselves. Jesus, when he came to this earth, kind of summed them up in one statement. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and the greatest commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. Because like in the polls that we've taken already, it seems like people think that people are inherently good. And that was God's ideal, obviously. That's what he wanted for us. It's literally against what we have hardwired inside of us, and still, it's so easy to sin. So again, quick recap. Sin means to miss the mark, right? And it is against our nature to sin. God made us to honor and respect and care for one another, and that is clear in the 10 Commandments and in the teachings of Jesus and the things that he did while he was on earth. Jesus' mission on earth was literally to eradicate this sin, right? This problem that we have with missing the mark, with getting the bullseye. The complicated thing here, and the fact that I have come to realize and kind of live with, is that I'm not perfect and I sin all the time. Like, literally all the time. I miss the mark. In fact, just the other day, I was outside in my yard, and me and my dad were working on putting a patio up, and all of a sudden, a piece of wood dropped, landed right on the piping that we had temporarily going to the yard to water the plants, and it burst. So I was in my yard trying to fix all this piping, and so I, sawed off the piece of the PVC. I got those 2 connectors and I tried to measure it out right, but I did it wrong. Not only one time, but like 7 times. Like I cut this super, super tiny little piece that, you shouldn't have to cut if you're measuring correctly. And I cut it so uneven, it was so frustrating. I missed the mark so much, and eventually I got it, but I had to use 3 connectors. Anyways, I messed up. I missed the mark. Missing the mark is just something that happens to everybody. And I think if I focused on my failure and I focused on me missing the mark all the time, I don't think I'd be a very happy person. I don't think I'd have many friends, and I don't think I'd accomplish very much. And that's the point I think Jesus was trying to get us to focus on. Yes, there is brokenness in this world, but there's something that you can do about it. And there's 5 verses I want to share with you quickly that kind of focus in on what Jesus had as an ideal for us on earth. Bring good news to the poor. Bring them liberty. Visit orphans and widows. Be generous to the poor. Help the weak. Open your hands to the needy. Now, that's going to look different for everybody. It could be any one of a million things, but this is the way to combat sin. There's so much more we could talk about in this topic, but we hope this has been a brief but important introduction to the view of sin that the Bible has and what you can do to counteract it in your world by being active and not being stagnant.